This podcast is brought to you by Audible. Now, Audible is the number one audiobook platform in the entire world. Now, why I really like this is because audiobooks are great for learning on the go while you're working out, while you're driving, or doing any miscellaneous tasks. Instead of doing something mindless, we can actually be learning and adding to our knowledge base. And you know that we're all about being the greatest versions of ourselves here. And part of that is learning more, applying it, and progressing in our own lives. I've read over 400 books just this past couple of years on Audible. You can find anything that you want here, any type of genre, any type of book. The membership includes one free credit a month, which is basically one free book per month. And books here tend to be much more cheaper than you would have them physically. If you want to try Audible today, you go to audibletrial.com/AG Wellness. That's AUDIBLETRIAL.com/AG Wellness. That is where you'll get your first month for free. Now, let's get to the podcast. The proper pooping position, squatty potties, issue with the conventional approach, and how to improve elimination. So what is the proper pooping position? So we have something called the pubal rectilis muscle. This is a muscle that is kind of a sling that keeps everything in, all right? Now, for elimination to take place, this muscle is supposed to be completely relaxed, all right? Think of it as a hose. When a hose is straight, everything just flows out naturally. But when there's a kink in it, not everything is going to be able to get out. So sitting on a conventional toilet at about 90 degrees actually puts a kink in this muscle, all right? Now, our ancestors have always been squatting. All right, it's about 35 degrees. And this allows the pubal rectilis muscle to completely relax. A lot of us have constipation because we're not in the proper position. We don't even realize it. So putting yourself in a squatting position is going to be the most optimal. So how do we actually do this? Like you can use some type of stool, but basically there's something called a squatty potty. They've been in Shark Tank and all that. This is very popular stool to use in the bathroom for this purpose. And you're going to be amazed how actually quick it is. Like there's kind of a productivity thing here as well. Like y'all can get rid of your magazine racks and all the nonsense because it's just in and out. You got better things to do. What are some potential issues with a conventional toilet? So we have cardiovascular strain from all the pushing. This can perhaps lead to lightheadedness. You have nerve damage from the straining and potential incontinence from that. Pelvic floor issues such as prolapse. Hernias can also occur. Hemorrhoids due to the strain. Colon cancer can occur because of you're not eliminating everything and not doing it properly. What are some ways we can actually improve this process beyond the position? Well, we can get into something called resistant starch. Now, resistant starch is a type of starch that cannot be digested by us. It only can be consumed by our microbiome. All right, so it's basically food for the microbiome. Some sources are tiger nuts, bananas, and heated and cooled potatoes. That's something called retrogradation. When you like heat and cool certain foods like a potato, it actually increases the resistant starch content in there. And the bananas, by the way, should be green for the resistant starch content. That's where we're going to find it in the unripe ones. Then we have water. Water is critical for a healthy bowel movement because it helps everything move along. Hydration is key because constipation usually is things not being able to move and things being stuck, and this is very good for that process. Next, we have movement. Look, movement creates movement. You have something called the lymphatic system, or the extracellular waste management system, that only moves if you move. Stagnation leads to stagnation. And we have 4 times more lymph than we actually do blood. It's also a immune system cellular transporter, so it's great for the immune system as well. Movement also helps detoxify and help your body work better overall as well. So when we talk about foundational health practices, it's basically like what are the things that our genes expect of us? What is a healthy human designed to do? Because we have 60% of Americans with at least one chronic disease today, which is unacceptable. And it's not because we're not doing what we're told. It's because in most cases we actually are doing what we're told. We have the wrong information. Getting back to ancestral health, to be the greatest versions of us. Like when you put in these simple practices, whether it's high quality water, getting a squatty potty, taking a walk every day, like all these things become ingrained in who we are as practices. And as you go throughout our days and our years, it's kind of like investment, right? And our state of being raises the thermostat. Like meaning we have a higher baseline for how we feel on a regular basis. Just like a thermostat. We may go up, we may go down from that time to time. A thermostat always is going to regulate itself. And your level of health will determine your thermostat and your health span.